technology was going like this. And then you pretty much get to like 1940s and something happened and then it started going like this. And it seems almost like we were seeded by like technology, and this technology has like become our god in a way. We've created an intelligence and we keep reiterating on it despite the fact that everyone is like horrified of what the outcome is going to be. So why is that? We're dealing with a phenomenon that uses humanity to self-replicate.
It's pregnancy to them. So it's like we're the egg and they're the sperm or something. Like I was like,
Yeah.
wow, you know?
It's a heavy notion that a lot of people just,
Yeah.
they tend to either dismiss it or they don't sit or stand like you did, right? And really process it. But that is whatever we're dealing with is a species. And they use us to self-replicate their own kind.
Okay, this is what I want to talk about. Because I've kind of hinted at this before, right? We're talking about a species here that is using us to self-replicate their own kind. And I've kind of hinted at the idea of like techno-terrestrial. Now, I don't know if that's the right term, but I find it interesting how we are creating an intelligence, right? We're creating an artificial intelligence that we're already, it's not even at a stage yet that can do it, but where everyone is already frightened about this thing like taking over, being smarter and better and bigger than we are, right? But what I find interesting is that we're hearing about this in the lens of like, you know, demons or in like a religious context, right? And then you've got Peter Thiel with Palantir, and who people are labeling him as like the Antichrist, and he's trying to usher in this sort of like surveillance AI-based state, essentially. And that humans, like we are almost hardwired to like innovate. Like I feel like that's what our species innately does. We make things and then we make them, and we generally feel this like compulsion to reiterate and try and do it better and better and better. Like that's just kind of what we do. And it's weird that we've now created this intelligence that, you know, when you look at the curve of things, the technological curve was basically flatlining, okay? Like if we're talking like 16th century, technology was going like this. And then you pretty much get to like 1940s and something happened and then it started going like this. And now it's going like that. And so, you know, if you go back in the, you know, in time and look at the technology graph, it was like this for a long time. And then something happened in 1940 and it started going like this. And it seems almost like we were like seeded by like technology. And this technology has like become our god in a way because we're obsessed with it. Like we're obsessed with technology. It's strapped on our wrist. It's stuck in our pockets. We stare at it all day. Our whole world is basically connected in, like we're plugged into our world digitally through technology. Like we literally live in a matrix. That's, you know, we all know it was a documentary, right? And now we're going down this road where we're creating an intelligence, which we call artificial. But like Diana Pasolka has mentioned, you know, this isn't an artificial drink bottle. Just because someone else made it, it's not artificial. It's a drink bottle. Is this an artificial phone? No, it's a phone. Why is the intelligence artificial? Just because it makes it sound less scary? We've created an intelligence. And we keep reiterating on it despite the fact that everyone is like horrified of what the outcome is going to be. So why is that? Everyone is freaking out that it's going to take our jobs and it's going to take over, yet we're still doing it. We're dealing with a phenomenon that uses humanity to self-replicate. Yo, if you're enjoying this clip, make sure you subscribe below and head on over to the main channel if you want to watch the full replay of this video. You might even be able to catch one of the streams live one time and get involved in the chat as well. All the links you need will be down below. And obviously he's talking in the sense of like a demonic phenomenon, but you know, UFOs are part of the phenomenon, right? These really kicked off in the 40s. The technology curve ramped up in the 40s, were we seeded by a technology-based intelligence that is replicating itself through humanity with artificial intelligence? Am I cooking, chat, or am I not? Because I think I'm kind of cooking with that theory. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie.
And so in modernity now, especially within ufology, they're trying again, working with what I call the proto-intelligence, the phenomenon. They're trying to say this is the missing fetus syndrome. It's modern. It's not modern. It's ancient. Now, what it did, this is another fascinating aspect of the phenomenon that people don't understand yet, but when these priests and rabbis exorcised, when they forced the consciousness of the entity out, the phenomenon took the fetus at the same time. Gone.
Really?
Yes. That's missing fetus syndrome within its original context. And it originated, again, not in ufology, it originated in demonology as an incubus, as a dream demon who was trying to replicate itself through the womb.
Now, I have a little bit of a story here. When I was, I would have been 19 or 20, and don't worry, I wasn't the dad. Relax. I worked with a guy who was much older than me. I reckon at the time he was maybe in his late 40s, early 50s. And, you know, I really got along well with him. Like, I just clicked with him. You know, he, in a sense, he was almost like a little bit of a fatherly figure to me, like at work. And we would just have like really good conversations. And eventually, you know, I was in the rabbit hole back then. And we got into, you know, conspiracies, UFOs, aliens. I remember him telling me about Rendlesham Forest. That's where I learned about Rendlesham Forest from him. And, you know, we just got really close, right? And so we would talk about this stuff kind of regularly at lunch break. And one day, and you know, I really trust this guy. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't the kind of guy to lie. He was just a good bloke from New Zealand, Kiwi, just a legend, and you know, played the drums. Just a really great guy, honestly. And one day he just kind of turned to me when we were talking about this kind of stuff, and he goes, you know, his whole demeanor changed, and he goes like, oh, I can't remember exactly, but it was like, you know, I've got a story I've never told anyone actually. And I could tell his whole demeanor changed. I was just like, okay, yeah, like, let's hear it. And he basically said, you know, my wife was pregnant, and one night we were asleep in bed, and I woke up to her like sort of like, you know, screaming, like sleep screaming or whatever, saying like they're trying to take him, or they're trying to take my baby or something like that. And then she like woke up, and, you know, she was really shaken up, saying like they're trying to take the baby or something like that. And then they went to do like an ultrasound or some kind of test, and she wasn't pregnant anymore. And apparently, according to him, she said that, I'm pretty sure he said that she remembers it being like, you know, some kind of gray looking thing. That detail I'm not 100% sure of, but like his interpretation when telling me the story was very much like implying that. And like I said, this guy was not the kind of dude to lie. Just a humble Kiwi bloke. Yeah. And I could just tell, like, I'd never seen him look like that. And his voice went lower. He said he had like goosebumps when he was telling me, and then I was getting goosebumps. I was like, God damn, this guy's like, you know, he's not creeping me out, but like I can tell he's being serious. So there's that, right? That's a little story that I've heard, and obviously I never ever forgot that. Like, that's just one of those things that you never forget.